Well, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy's Eyes and Ears Tactical back here with another video. As you can see, I got a lot of stuff going on here. I got my Glock 19 broken down, getting ready to do this little. I've been watching these videos, and I guess there's this little 25-cent polish job you can do. And I ran it by a couple people, and they said, "Yeah, it's not bad." I mean, I'm not trying to like fix nothing or make something better, but a cheap way. I just thought, hey, pretty cool. Let me go ahead and try and polish it. So I saw a lot of videos, and I talked to my gunsmith, and he was like, "Yeah, it's safe. Just he just told me with the parameters, what to do, what not to do, things of that nature." So I'm gonna give it a shot. So I got everything broken down. I didn't have a Dremel, so I went and bought one, a little cheap one. It's called high spec, and they got the little speed control right here. How fast you wanted to go, and it was only like 30 bucks. Got all your specs on it right there. You guys can check it out. It's high spec, and one of the guys who did this job, he said this is what he bought, a little cheap one, and it worked fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a crack. And it came with a little kit with all the little wheels and pads and whatnot. So I'm gonna give it a shot. Nothing big deal. Like I said, I'm not trying to be cheap going around not buying a good trigger and all that kind of stuff, but supposedly it works, and I'm gonna give it a crack. So I got the whole thing broke down, cleaned everything out, the plunger, striking, firing pin, all that stuff, and then polish a few things. I'm not gonna over polish like my buddy told me. Don't take off. Try not to take off the material. I'm not using sandpaper, but just this plunger. Get this thing polished up, smoother transitions on the trigger. It's kind of dirty. I ain't cleaned my Glock in a while, but you ain't really got to over clean Glock. The feed ramp and on the barrel, I might polish that up, and I'll polish this piece up right here too. Get that polished up. Tear this apart, get the connector, get all that polished up real good. Take that out, and so clean this up. I saw a guy say you can polish up the feed ramp a little bit on your barrel if you want to. I don't know if I'm gonna do all that. We'll see. I'm not gonna tweak it up too much because Glock is the reason why everything the way it is. The more you use it, everything gets smoother and smoother. And like I said, this is not actually a Glock trigger. I don't know the name of it, but Ghost. Yeah, Ghost Inc. Ghosting, GHOSTINC.com. But this is not I got this from my gun shop. This guy was in there. He lives by these. He said, man, this thing is cool. So it took that Glock trigger for like 5.5 pounds, and this one was like 4.5. But I think now it's down to about 4 because I ran over 2,000 rounds through this Glock 19, and it gets smoother and smoother and better. It's not a Timney, it's nothing. It's just a $20. I don't even know what this thing was. It was like 25 bucks or something like that. I mean, y'all can look it up yourself. But Ghost Inc. or something like that. It's Ghost. It's all one word. GHOSTINC.com. But this thing is sweet. It works good. So I'm gonna clean all that up, and I got a couple cleaning tools I'm gonna use, and the mothers. Now, this is just one of the many you can use. Like they got flits. And then there's also these compound blocks you can use. So there's a lot of people got different advice on what polishing. From what I'm hearing, this ain't really the best. It's just the most popular, and people. This is when they launched all those 25-cent trigger upgrades. Most of the people use mothers. It's nothing wrong with it, but from what I understand, there's these blocks look like plate. Remember the old clay when you was in elementary school? They come in those different colors, and they're compound blocks used for polishing. I'm not really into all that stuff, but. So this guy was telling me, supposedly a guy I work with, he said that he likes those better, and you can grab them on Amazon, like 3 sticks, like butter. They come like sticks of butter for like 8 bucks, and I think this is like $6. So I'm gonna give it a crack. Go ahead and clean it up, and I'll let you guys. Once you guys see all the parts now, how they not really all that shiny. So when I'm done, you can see it before and after. But you guys seen all these videos before. I gotta first clean all this stuff, and but you guys seen all the videos, and so what it's all about. I just thought it'd be something fun to do. I was gonna clean some guns. Got a day off today, so I figured I might as well clean my guns and all that kind of stuff. And at least one of them and mess with it and see how it goes. So I'll get back with you on that. And someone was asking me about, so I don't know if people really read the Glock manual, and I know if you look at my gun, it's not really all that oily, you know, it's not oil all over the place. And the reason why, I did some research, and Glock pistols are considered a dry pistol. And this guy was telling me, one of the gunsmiths was telling me what they mean by dry is that when Gaston Glock did these pistols, he was doing it for them to be rough, treated badly, and not a lot of maintenance. And so with that being said, I went through the Glock manual, and you'll be shocked how many points that the manual says to oil your pistol. It's only 5 oiling points, guys, on these Glock pistols. I'm gonna show them to you. There's 1 drop on each side of the barrel where they want you to just rub it in. And if, no one reads the manuals. It's in your Glock box. I pulled it out and read it. And it's a page when it goes to lubrication. It tells you how to lubricate a Glock, suggested by the manufacturer OEM. 1 drop of oil here, 1 drop of oil there. Rub it together. That's it. There's a drop of oil. They suggest to go right up underneath here. I don't know if you can see where I'm pointing at. But right up in there, they want you to put oil right there. Okay. The other point they want is at the end, they want you to put grease on these pins. Right there, right there, right there. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And the other part was, I believe they want you to put a drop of oil right here inside the slide because it rubs against there. And I think that's it, 5 points. They don't, no oil on the spring. I don't know why people say that. Nope, they said nothing about oil on the spring. They do suggest to put a little oil when you're tearing apart on your pins, but who doesn't know that? There was nothing about no oil on here. Now, when it's fully assembled, they did want oil in those pins, like I stated, right here, right there. And you could rub a little oil right there if you wanted to on that. But literally 5 points of oil on a Glock is all they suggest. Now, there's videos, you see people clean Glock, they take like the CLP spray and go, and they let it sit there and they wipe it all up. Well, if you read your manual, Glock says they don't want oil coming down up in here. They don't want oil up in there. One of these ports, I think, which one is it? I think it's this one or one of them. There's a hole. They don't want oil going in. I don't know if you can see that at one point. I think it's this one. That's where the plunger goes. But this, I think this hole, people actually drop oil in there, and I read the manual, and that hole is for water. For moisture, water, if your Glock fell into a river or bank, whatever, and that's what drains the water out of the. See if my holding's right. That's what drains the oil out of the water out of here if your Glock gets submerged in water. So it's really interesting. Like, you know, people don't read the manuals and they watch these videos, and a lot of stuff is just like myths. And so when I read the manual, I just sat back at work one day. I was bored, and I just actually started reading it. And man, I was just shocked how, like, how you don't need a lot of oil. They don't want oil all up in here in your trigger housing. They don't want oil going all dripping down inside your trigger. I mean, even mine is not even oil that much, but I can see there's a little bit. I don't want to say oil, but I mean, I got grease all over because my connector has a little bit too much oil in it. Like right there, you can see. Like there's grease right. You can see the oil. So that's too much. They don't want oil all over these parts. So once you clean it all up real good, yeah, they suggest wiping a little grease from your connector, but they want it like a thin layer, so you put it on there and you wipe it again. And so I'm just going by what I read in the manual, and people do what they want because a lot of people have done things what they want to do and had great results behind it. So a lot of that gun industry is based on that. Well, I used to do it this way, but that's the way it's going to be, and most people are right. Like you can do whatever you want, and and probably get away with it. But I just thought it was interesting. Like, so if you guys own Glocks, I would suggest go ahead and read through your manual, and it'll probably shock you to find out like it doesn't require a lot of oil. And I kind of knew that because I don't clean myself, over clean it, and just looking at it, it still looks good. But I did notice when I picked this up, it did have it was dirty. I ain't gonna lie. So, but still, this thing fires perfect, no problem. Tungsten rod, doing good. Everything doing good. Standard OEM. My extractor, no problem. It's got a little work on it. You can see. It's got a little wear and tear. It's a Glock Gen 3, and I've had this gun since 2000. Shit, man. It's one of my first Glocks. My first Glock. I got this in, I want to say 2015. So 16 maybe, I don't know, 15. And so it's got a lot of rounds through it. But when I first originally got it, I didn't actually shoot that much because I was working so much. But as of 2008, 17, 18, 19 up in there, a lot of rounds went through it. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. You know, go ahead and try that little 25-cent polish. I'm gonna go ahead and use this. The next time I'm gonna use this those block compounds. My buddy at work lives by those. He lives by it, and he lives out there, way out in East County, down near Yuma. Big gun guy, and he said Mothers make it shiny. He said, but it's not the best one you can use. So I'm gonna go ahead and use those compounds the next time and see how that go in comparison. I might use it on another pistol and see what the difference. But I'm thinking it's not gonna be fair because this trigger is already a better trigger than my Glock 23 trigger. But I'm gonna give it a shot. And I was gonna say, I found out something else on Glock. So I don't know if you already noticed, Glock uses Loctite. When they do demonstrations, they use Loctite. Well, Glock has a contract with Loctite. So what I found out, there's a compound that Glock uses when they ship it out. I don't know if you guys bought Glocks, but it'll look brown, whatever. But that, I never got one that was brown. People say they get like, it looks like it's brown, whatever. The grease, whatever, that grease that they put in there. Well, I found out what it is. It's Loctite CP5, I believe. Don't quote me, but I think it's called CP5, and it's a copper-based anti-siege compound that Glock uses when they ship their pistols out, and they will put it all in the rails up in here and up in here inside your slide. They'll put it inside their slide all up in here and on these 4 pins right here, right there. So that's what that grease on that, when you buy a Glock, it's a specific grease. It's by Loctite, and the number, if you look it up, look for CP5 copper-based anti-siege ointment or cream or whatever you want to call it, anti-siege by Loctite, and it's in a gray little tube, just like their Loctite they use for all the other stuff. It's the exact same type, but you can get it bigger sizes, like 1.5 ounces, 2 ounces, or even, I think they actually, I don't know if you can get it in jars probably, but because the people use it for machinery and stuff like that. But yeah, so I found that out. So Loctite has a contract with Glock, and I thought that was interesting. They use Loctite when they're doing all their MOS systems and stuff like that, and then the anti-siege, what they're using. So I ordered a little tube of it on Amazon. I'll get it probably tomorrow. I'm gonna start using that to, when I finish cleaning my pistol, I'm gonna put that on my pins and rub it on my, just a little bit right here in that part right here. They put it right there, and I'm just give it a shot and see if it makes any difference. But I thought that was interesting. That's their anti-siege ointment that they use on their pistols, Loctite CP5. So pretty interesting. I thought I'd pass that on to you guys. Somebody said, what do I use to clean my guns? I mean, basic patches and spit. I mean, I bought these Q-tip deal, man, like 5,000. It's a box about this wide, and I only went through one package, and it's like about 6 of them in here like this, full to the rim. It was a great deal, like $7.95. So if you guys can find it, I mean, it's crazy, dude. It was a lot. I got these patches. I use these different sizes for different pistols, whatever. Same stuff everybody else used. And I got several, and I don't use a lot of oil, so you'll be stunned. This bottle of CLP, you can see how old it is just by all the oil dripped all on it. I keep my stuff in Ziplocs. I keep it in my gun bucket under my bed so I don't spill stuff everywhere. But you can hear there's still a little bit left. This bottle has been lasting me literally 4 years. Now, that might be an indictment on how often I clean my guns, but seeing how I got about a handful of guns, that's not a lot of oil. But I don't over oil my guns, and so that's lasted me a long time. And every time I go in a gun store, I go, maybe I should buy some more oil. And I'm going like, man, you still got the same oil from 4 years ago. Why you need to be buying oil? So that's one I use. I use that a lot, CLP. And then, not, you know, for my rifles, I use the CLP Hops 9, the Boar Snake, all in one. Again, this thing is practically full. I run these through my rifles and stuff. That's about it. I have not upgraded this either. This is about 3 years old, and I don't know if it's black, you can't see it, but it's barely even used because you don't need much. You just don't need much. And then I got this Hops right here. It's a cleaner. It's a traditional one. I don't even think I ever use it. Yeah, it's brand new. I never even use it because I've been using the CLP. So I haven't used that. When I bought it, it was all one kit. And here's the Hops lubricating oil. And I do use this a little bit. Not much, as you can see, probably it's three-fourths full. But so I use that. I've always been a Hops guy. And so I use that. And then, you know, your lubricating oil and a needle nose. And I use this quite often, as you can see. But again, this is about 3 years old. These all at the same time. This is a little older. So the CLP is about 4 years old, and these are all like 3 years old. But I use this a little bit more because I use it on those pins right there. And so that's basically all I use. I don't do anything else. It's nothing spectacular. You know, I just repeat the process on shotguns, AR, whatever. You know, keep everything nice, lubed up. But like I said, not a lot of oil. So that's what I use, and that's the same old bag. You can see how old it is. Just keep it simple, man, and just, you know, try to read your manuals on your pistols, especially from the manufacturer, because they're telling you how they want it to be done. Now, they're not always right. You can use your best judgment, but you would hate to do something against the manufacturer and fuck the gun up, and then you try to take it back and they tell you, like, they ask you all these little stupid questions. Well, how do you clean it? What do what do, this and that and the other. So try to follow their advice. So I thought that was pretty interesting to find that out, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, get you a Dremel. I like this one because my buddy said the speed, you can control it right there with your thumb. You get an on and off switch. It's quick connectors right there. So, and it's only $29. So I heard Harbor Freight got some pretty good ones too. Get you one of those, and go ahead and do that 25-cent trigger upgrade, guys. So that's pretty much all I got for you. Will not be doing this job on my Glock 34 because I'm gonna actually buy a Glock switch trigger for it, and it'll be probably ready to go. But I'm curious to see how this is gonna work, how it's gonna function. And like I said, I'm gonna use Mother's this go around, and then the next murder go around, I'm gonna use that other compound, and I might use Flits. I like to just try to see my own opinion what it is. So I might buy a little thing of Flits and use Flits, use Mothers, and use the other one, see which one polishes up and makes it the action more smoother, and see how it goes. You never know. Only way you're gonna know if you try it yourself. And that's pretty much it. This is the Glock disassembly. I didn't do it on camera. I will do that one day. Maybe I'll do it on my other pistol when I do the Glock 23. I'll disassemble it, even though there's a gazillion disassembly videos. And this is my Glock Tech Mac. I love this mat. Got it during Thanksgiving for like $7. You know, get you all the parts. What is it? 36 total parts for a Glock 19. Yeah, 36 total. So yeah, it's pretty neat. And that's including the magazine and everything. But in the actual pistol itself, I'm sure functioning parts is probably just as it. This is the gun. So guys, I just want to thanks for the time. It's your boys Eyes and Ears Tactical. Like, comment, subscribe. You know, drop some comments, man. You guys watch these videos, I appreciate it. The likes help. I'm hearing the likes help a lot. I want to appreciate everybody getting me over 300 subscribers. It's been great. Shout out to all the tubers and all the gun guys out there and girls that be supporting. Keep doing it. Like I said, you know, we're 2A community. We can all support each other. Fun stuff. Learn, get better, be safer. So this is your boy Eyes and Ears Tactical. Eyes and Ears Tactical. I'm signing off. Again, drop a subscription, drop a comment, drop a like. Everybody stay up. Peace.